Yo, back again. Uh, About to do this evening shift. Well, I call it night shift, but same thing. Get this little extra money. Like I said, just been on overtime. Uh, as usual, like, comment, subscribe. Everything that I say here is from my own personal experiences. If you've experienced something different or you've experienced the same things, please let me know in the comment section. With equal-minded individuals here. So, but I wanted to talk about this 80-20 rule that every guy has been talking about, every woman has been talking about, and how they're letting it shape their lives. And if you're not in this 20 or if not 10%, right, that you're not getting anything. All right. So this 80-20 rule is very much true, but it's not as superficial as what people assume it to be. All right. Guys that are in the 20%, they are what they say banging 80% of the woman. They do have access to 80% of the woman. That is true. Although the requirements that people think they have, right, they need to be in the 20%, that's overfabricated. I think that's exaggerated. And I want to explain to y'all how it really works, right? So let's just say we take a subject like a woman per se, and she says, hey, I want a guy that's 6 foot, right? Being 6 foot tall and above a guy, is 14% of in America's population. 14% of guys are 6 foot tall. But I want you to read in the words. If she's demanding a guy to be 6 foot tall and he's already 14%, right? It doesn't matter how ugly or whatever the case is. She hasn't said that, but it really does, right? 9 times out of 10 is because she dated somebody shorter than him. So if she dated somebody shorter than him, shorter than 6 foot, she's asking for a 6 foot guy because she feels like that might just well be a better experience. But you get the point here. A guy that was shorter than the 6 foot requirement got in. So this 20% that I want to tell y'all about, right? It's across all the board. So you know how you play 2K? Each player in the NBA has an overall, right? Your overall has to be within the 20%. You know what that means, guys, right? It means you could be dead broke and be within the 20% of guys, right? Maybe you're broke and maybe you're not tall. You could still be within the 20% of guys. Why? Because you have other attributes that make you more attractive, right? When I say it's not hard, it's because other guys make it easy for you to be within that 20%. No, you don't have to be 6 foot tall. No, you don't have to have 85 to 100K plus in your bank account, or, you know what I'm saying, make 150 grand a year. No, you don't need all that stuff to qualify for the 20%. Like I said, other guys rule themselves out. They either doubt themselves, right? They either scare the girl off, run the girl off. And it's with the littlest things. It's with the smallest things. So, yes, on the contrary, there are guys that are 6 foot and have money, and they're not in the 20%. 100% true. Fellas, these guys out here have no game. A lot of them. So when you do have game, even the slightest bit of game, woman could tell the difference. Let me share a story with y'all, right? There was a girl, right, that I had liked for a long period of time in my life, through my college years, right? I had a crush on her and stuff like that. I spoke to her 3 times, right? All in different ways. I came up with a compliment, approach and everything in front of her friends. That didn't work out. I sent a friend, a girl, of course. That didn't work out. All kind of ways, right? It just never panned out, right? So I said, forget it. The next year now, I signed up for this class or whatnot. I sit my tail down, you feel me? And lo and behold, she comes in this large classroom full of 200 kids in there, and she sits her ass right next to me, right? Well, I don't know what that means now. I didn't know what it meant then. But I played it cool. Hear me out. I played it cool. What most guys aren't capable of doing, right? But I played it cool. So I was within class. I didn't bring it up. I didn't ask, like, yo, you remember me? I didn't say none of that bullshit. I just spoke to her, like, it was cool. On some class shit. Then, I end up getting her number through some class shit. I'm not going to say, okay, yeah, I done bagged it. This ain't one of them stories. I'm just letting y'all know how game could go a long way. And that's game whether you get it, whether you get the prize or get what you want, or whether you don't. But time ran its course a little bit. Let's just say like a month, right? Month went by. Cool. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm not finna just, talk about class shit. So I wanted to go there. And I said, yo, let me go ahead and ask this girl out. So I asked her out, right? And you already know I'm shaking in my boots, man. And but I'm just kind of holding frame, like, because I really felt like I liked this girl, But she waited the day of to reply, and when she replied, she was like, nah, we could do it some other time. Right? So where the game applies here is, I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. Right? I had class with her the next day. And best believe she came up in there with all expectation that it was going to be really awkward as hell, because she knew she turned me down at a date for a date, and she knew she didn't really want to link up later, like she said in the text messages. But one thing she did notice, right? So when time flew by in class, she saw a guy that acted normal, just pretty much was on the same page of how he was the day before, right? Cool, calm, and collected. Wasn't really worried about it. It was almost as if she never rejected me at all, right? So from that point on, in my head, I was like, yeah, there's no point. I'm not even going to worry about this anymore. And I was like, yep, I don't even care if she pushes for it. I'm not pushing for it anymore, right? Because if a woman wants you, she's going to get you, right? If she don't want you, you might fit in as a placeholder one day when she's down, but eventually she'll replace you, right? And that was my rule. But because I was so calm, she was like, dang. And it made her more attracted to me. She started hitting me up more. She wanted to schedule times and events we would link up. And even well after the time when we left the class and I wasn't even in there anymore, years after, she wanted to still be in my phone. But at the end of the day, like I said, I cut it short. I didn't want to speak anymore. I wasn't necessarily cold. I was friendly, because of course I didn't want to show that I was butthurt initially, but eventually over time I forgot about it and I had moved on. The point is, most men cannot do that today. If a woman texts a guy is more likely to keep on texting them over and over and over again. And if she's trying to ignore him, or maybe she's just busy, he will blow her phone up and ask questions like, what's wrong? Basically writing himself out of any kind of interaction with her. You get what I'm saying? So just by that alone, that little thing, me being calm and composed, she sees me as the minority. So that is just one aspect of many other aspects. Let's put it in perspective. You have that with you. Not only that, you're seen as attractive, right? You're in good shape, right? And maybe you're not making as much as what you want to, but you can hold your own. You have a place that you could afford. You have a car, right? And you have a job that you go to, and your expendable income, any income that you have after you've paid every bill that you know that you need, or all your necessities, you still have income remaining over after all that. Guess what? You're in the 20%, because the average bar has been set so low for guys, right? To where you could just walk right in by changing a couple characteristics with yourself. Most guys don't know how to dress. You feel me? They don't clean themselves well, right? They don't know how to act around women. So they'll try to throw you under the bus because they want attention, right? They just do too much. There's a lot of reasons. And you could just put yourself within the 20% by just not being all that. So now if I come to you and say, yo, I'm the top 5% of guy, then I'll be lying to you, right? Or the top 1% of guy. I know I'm not that, but I'm striving to be. The point is, you could be within the 20% also. Another thing that I'm going to tell you about, if you're in this 20%, especially when you're climbing up that ladder within the 10%, 5%, and 1%, not everybody could be up there. The more you're up there, the more you're knocking somebody else down. That's what you're not being told, right? It is a competition at the end of the day. If there are 100 people in the room and there are 5 prizes and only 5 people will win a prize, it will be the top 5 best men that's going to win the prize. You could have been within that 5% too. You could have been even better than the guys that won, but only 5 people could win. So when you're that high up there, you're going to knock somebody down. So this video is not for every guy. But what I want you to know is, it's not that hard being a 20% guy, because a lot of people, a lot of guys make it easier for you to get yourself up there. They don't pay their stuff on time. They're irresponsible. They cry when they don't get their way. Literally. I've seen it all and I've heard of it all. Right? You feel me? No job, no car. You feel me? No place. Right? And I'm even leaving out all the materialistic stuff. Right? Because at the end of the day, these guys could have a good, good sex game and still be within the 20%. Guys, the amount of partners men will have in a lifetime average is 7. Right? And I'm going to just leave off on this, right? It's 7. I heard like stuff saying, like Fresh and Fit podcast or whatever, saying that a man needs to sleep with 50 women, you feel me, in order to, have a grasp of what he want his wife to be. All right? First of all, to want a wife to sleep with 50 women, when the average is 7, by the time you hit 10 or 11, at whatever age you're at, you're within 20%. So 50, not only is that unneeded and unnecessary information, you feel me? But you don't need 50 women to prove yourself, or to be able to have a know-how how to gaze the streets. You don't. You honestly don't. You don't even need half that shit, right? But the point is, if you could do that, right, you're well beyond within 20%. It's not hard to achieve that. So I just wanted to let y'all know that, man. Like, a lot of guys out here really are losing, and they do make it easy. They thirsty as hell. You feel me? They act like starving pig. And in reality, if you just had a little game and you know how to take care of yourself and you handle your business as a guy, you feel me? And you just masculine, that's really, bro, that's really all you need out here to stand out, man. Stay in shape, bro. But all right, bro. Y'all take it easy.